Let's get into it. Appreciate you guys hopping in here on such short notice. Let's look at these PFF grades on offense. All right, let's start with the quarterback position. We're going to go rapid fire and get you guys out of here as quick as possible. Okay, so starting off, quarterback leading the way. Surprise, surprise, Jordan Love. And again, this is all of the Packer quarterbacks and the Bears quarterbacks who have taken any snaps this year. Okay, so this should include minimum snaps as well. Jordan Love leading the way, 87.3 PFF grade. Awesome year for Jordan Love. His passing grade is even higher at an 89.0. Jordan Love just absolutely lighting it up this year. Some people are starting to creep him back into the MVP conversation after that 4-touchdown performance on Thanksgiving Day. It's amazing how when the national scene gets to watch him play as opposed to just us Packer fans, when everybody's kind of forced to watch that one game, they go, damn, this Jordan Love guy's kind of good, right? Funny how that works. We'll see what he does tomorrow. If the Packers can pull off a win against the Bears, take over the first place in the NFC North, potentially the number 1 seed, depending on what goes on around the rest of the league. I think if he comes out of there with a 2 or 3 touchdown performance, maybe 250 yards passing, no interceptions, they're probably, you're going to hear that ramp up even more. Right now, I think he's got 3rd or 4th best odds in terms of MVP race. Second, Caleb Williams with an 82.2. Oh, wait, that's not Caleb Williams. Huh. That's strange. The second highest graded quarterback in the NFC, I'm not just the NFC North, but between the Packers and the Bears this year is actually Malik Willis. Huh. Who would have thought? 82.2 offensive grade with a 71.7 passing grade. He actually has the 2nd best passing grade, too. That's really, really interesting, seeing that everybody is just over the moon about Caleb Williams. And here we got Caleb Williams in the number 3 spot, 72.7 with a 66.8 passing grade. You're going, how's his passing grade 66.8? And he's a quarterback that's grading out 72.7 in offensive grade. It's because his running grade's 84.6. An elite scrambling quarterback. Playing the quarterback position, actually throwing the football, not so much. Still, 72.7 is solid. 66.8 isn't horrible. But you would think, I mean, there's actual conversations being taken place that Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. It's absolutely mind-boggling. So again, Caleb Williams is the 3rd highest rated quarterback amongst this group. And then behind him, you got Tyson Bagent with a 60.3 and a 62.3 passing grade. So again, that is how the Packers-Bears quarterback rooms compare. All right. Let's move along now to running backs. All right. Next on the list. Actually, no. Let's don't move along yet. Let's stick with quarterback for just a minute, because this kind of caught me off guard here a little bit earlier. It didn't really catch me off guard, but I thought it was kind of comical that someone actually threw a tweet out there that sparked me to go to completion percentage here. Okay. So this is adjusted completion percentage across the entire league. You know, I talked about Caleb was like in the 44 mark or something in adjusted completion percentage. That was with removing the minimal snaps, right? This is every quarterback across the league who has thrown at least one pass. Okay, at least one pass. In adjusted completion percentage, Caleb Williams actually ranks 52nd with a 69.6. And keep in mind, Jordan Love significantly higher, I think with a 78 or a 76 is his adjusted completion percentage. And again, keep in mind too, adjusted completion percentage, you remove the spike passes, you remove the throwaways. I think you remove the drop passes as well, what's deemed a drop. So this is like, get rid of all the noise. How accurate has your quarterback been? How efficient has he been in terms of getting the ball where it needs to be in a catchable situation? And let's adjust that completion percentage. Let's grade it on the curve. Let's say, forget the result of the play. How good has the quarterback been? He is significantly lower than what the stats are saying he is. So any of those Chicago Bears fans that continue to tote that company line, well, it's the receivers dropping passes. It's this, it's that. No, it's Caleb's accuracy. And I got to be honest with you. If Caleb eventually gets the accuracy problem fixed, he's going to be a damn good quarterback. Right now, he is not a damn good quarterback. He's 52nd in the league in completion percentage after being adjusted. Just absolutely wild statistic there. Now, what kind of provoked me to jump into this was there was another tweet that popped up, all right? And this caught my attention as, I better pause that. You never know what might happen there. John Fraskella, if I'm saying that right, I apologize if I butchered his name, said Justin Fields has a higher passer rating than Caleb Williams this NFL season. Are you noticing how there are other people, and this guy has like 80,000 followers. Are you noticing that other people are starting to kind of catch on? To hold up a minute, I thought Caleb was having a good game, a good season. Remember Pat McAfee the other day, the clip we played for you guys, the audio, where he was like, yeah, I mean, every time I see Caleb Williams, he's throwing touchdown passes. It's a highlight reel, right? Yeah. Justin Fields has a higher passer rating than Caleb Williams. And then I had to pile on a little bit and point out, of course, that just so everyone knows, Justin Fields is also 31 spots higher than Caleb Williams in adjusted completion percentage. I repeat, 31 spots higher on the NFL rankings in terms of adjusted completion percentage. Justin Fields is 21st in the league at 76.5. And that is on 128 attempts. So it's not like 13 attempts, 20 attempts, 70 attempts, 128 attempts. And again, Caleb Williams is 52nd at 69.6. All these things matter, right? All the context matters. We don't just cover PFF grades. We don't just cover advanced metrics and analytics like adjusted completion percentage. We don't just watch the tape. We don't just use the GPS tracking data from NFL Pro and the accuracy and everything there as well. We look at the entire picture. And the entire picture says that Caleb Williams is a less efficient, worse quarterback than Justin Fields, who's with the New York Jets. So any of those Bears fans that like to pretend that, no, Justin Fields has got it better than Caleb Williams. Sorry, bub. You take that Kirby down the street, we ain't buying it. All right, let's move along to running back before we fall too far behind, man. Running back, Packers and Bears running back rankings by PFF grades. At the top of the list between these two teams, you've got our very own Josh Jacobs at 82.1 is his offensive PFF grade. Number 2, DeAndre Swift, 74.7. Number 3, Kyle Monangai at 70.2. Number 4, Chris Brooks at a 69.8. Number 5, Roshan Johnson at a 68.9. Number 6, you've got Brittain Brown, if I'm saying that right, 66.3. Then Emmanuel Wilson at 7 at 63.5. And then Travis Homer at number 8 with a 52.8. So the moral of the story is exactly what we talked about all week. They have a great 1-2 punch in DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. Josh Jacobs still a significantly better running back according to PFF, roughly 8 points higher, right? And then, of course, Chris Brooks is, I think, very, very underrated in terms of how important he is to this offense. When you look at his grades across the board, offensive grade 69.8, running grade 70.7, fumble grade 75.8, run blocking grade 87.1. When you got him in there to do some extra run blocking, I didn't see his pass blocking grade, but it's always really solid as well. We got the best quarterback, actually the top 2 quarterbacks according to PFF grade, with Caleb Williams being number 3. We've got the top running back. They've got the second and third best running back. We have the 4th best running back in terms of PFF grades. Now, you guys know I believe Emmanuel Wilson is way better than that 63.5. So I'm sure there's Bear fans that think DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai is better than their 74.7 and 70.2 PFF grades, right? So there are the running backs in this matchup. Now let's move along to wide receivers. Same exact format here, okay? We're going to go wide receiver rankings between the Packers and the Bears in terms of PFF grades. At the top of the list, Jayden Reed with an 89.9. It goes back to what Jim was saying. Let's hope he is healthy for this game. Love to see him get out there and get some meaningful reps. Jayden Reed leading the way with an 89.9. Second, Christian Watson at an 84.6. Third, Luther Burden at a 73.2. So you can't sleep on him. He's having a pretty darn good season so far. Number 4, Dontayvion Wicks with a 72.7. Number 5, Romeo Doubs at a 70.8. Boy, don't let Bears fans know that Dontayvion Wicks, what was he, guys? Remind me in the chat. Was he a 4th-round pick, I believe, 4th or a 5th-round pick? Is grading out higher than their 1st-round pick. So anytime they try to pile on Matthew Golden, who's number 7 on this list at a 67.0, just below Romeo Doubs at a 67.1. Anytime they try to point out that Matthew Golden, oh, he's bad, just let them know that Dontayvion Wicks is grading out better. Let them know that Romeo Doubs would be the 4th best receiver on our roster. Probably shut up about that, right? DJ Moore, they're Mr. All Everything, right? 65.0 PFF grade. He's 8th on this list behind Matthew Golden. All right. Malik Heath is number 9, Savion Williams 10, Bo Melton 11. And then they've got Zacchaeus. Some people were talking like Zacchaeus is having a great year. He's going to blow up. That's the guy we need to watch for now that Roma Dunze's out. He's grading out with a 59.5. And then Devin Duvernay, I think I'm saying that right, at a 52.6. That is how the wide receiver rankings compare across the Packers and the Bears roster. All right, let's move it along now to the tight end position. This one's going to hurt because Tucker's on this list, and you know how valuable he was to this team. So Packers and Bears tight end rankings by PFF grades. At the top of the list, Tucker Kraft with a 78.1. Doesn't matter what metric you use, Tucker Kraft is grading out. He's only played in 8 games this year because of the injury, right? He's out for the year. Colston Loveland has played in 11 games. Tucker Kraft has still got more yards than him. He's still got twice as many touchdowns as Colston Loveland. But somehow Bears fans think that Colston Loveland is a better tight end than Tucker Kraft. But you got 3 games on our guy, and he's still leading in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, as well as yards per reception, as well as receiving percentage, as well as Colston Loveland has 4 more targets than Tucker Kraft, who's been injured now for, 3 games, however long it is. He's got 4 more targets than Tucker Kraft and less yards, touchdowns, and receptions. So, and by the way, PFF has him graded higher as well. Tucker Kraft higher than Colston Loveland. So make sure Bears fans know that. Number 2 on the list, of course, is Colston Loveland at a 75.6. I'm going to say it again. I think he's going to be a good tight end. He may be a great tight end, but anyone who thinks that Colston Loveland is better than Tucker Kraft, you're smoking something. Cole Kmet in the number 3 spot with a 65.1. Then Josh Whyle, he's dropped recently at a 58.0. Number 5, John Fitzpatrick at a 53.7. Luke Musgrave at a 53.7. And then Smythe for Chicago is if I'm saying that right, it might just be Smythe, is a 49.4. So again, when you look at it that way, with Tucker Kraft being out, you definitely give the tight end room edge to the Chicago Bears with Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. We're kind of patching things together with Josh Whyle and John Fitzpatrick along with Luke Musgrave. So definitely something. They have the advantage there. Colston Loveland needs to be you need to put emphasis on stopping him, especially with Roma Dunze out. It's going to be the DJ Moore, Colston Loveland kind of attack when they do go in the air. Again, keying on the run first and foremost, though. So there is your tight end comparison / matchup between the Packers and the Bears. Now, let's move on to offensive line. Packers and Bears offensive line rankings by PFF grades. Here we go. Oh, do we have breaking news in here, guys? We have breaking news. We're going to hit it at the end of the show, okay? Because I'm going to go climb through and try to find it. Look, I'm going to go ahead and break the news to you guys and gals. Kyle Landretti says Packers just activated Jayden Reed and released Malik Heath. We kind of called that one, didn't we? It's kind of saying Malik Heath might be the odd man out there with the problems they had a couple of weeks ago. That makes sense, right? So Jayden Reed is back, baby. Oh, I can't wait to see Bird back on the field. That is going to be absolutely awesome. So we'll break that news at the end of the show and cut it up in a separate video for everyone for sure. So offensive line comparisons here, okay? Packers, Bears, Zach Tom, 82.5 leading the way. Drew Dahlman is second at an 82.1. Then Darnell Wright at a 78.5. Our very own Darian Kennard in the number 4 spot at a 74.5. There, Jonah Jackson with a 74. There, Joe Tooney with the 74. Our Rasheed Walker with a 66.6. There, Luke Newman with a 66.5. Then there, Ozzie Trapillo with a 66.2. Elton Jenkins, obviously out for the year, grading out a 62. Aaron Banks, 58.3. Sean Ryan, 57.2. Theo Benedette, their tackle, 56.3. Braxton Jones, Chicago's tackle, 55.5. Jordan Morgan, our guard, which is now not starting, 54.3. And Anthony Belton, who seems to have taken over that starting right guard spot from Jordan Morgan at least the last couple of weeks, is a 41.1. So when you look at the offensive line, let's stick with the top 10 here, okay? We've got three healthy guys in the top 10. They've got, I believe, 6, if I'm looking at this correctly. They definitely have the edge when it comes to offensive line. There's no two ways about that. The Bears have the better offensive line this year. They spent a lot of resources and time in the offseason revamping that offensive line. It's one of the things that I credited them with, like, okay, they're finally building in the trenches. They're finally learning. all right, we need to put an offensive line out there if we want these receivers to make plays. And if to even find out if this quarterback in Caleb Williams is the real guy, we got to have a good offensive line out there. So you can't argue anymore that Caleb Williams' passing is down. He's struggling throwing the football and being accurate because his offensive line is bad. He's got one of the better offensive lines in football, and they can run the rock too. So there is your offensive line comparison. Matter of fact, that's your entire offensive breakdown. Packers roster, Bears roster, who has the edge. It's going to be a fun game tomorrow, guys, because again, both of these teams are kind of peaking at the same time, right? This is just a head-on collision that's happening in that game tomorrow. We get to find out a lot about both of these teams. We get to say, okay, the Packers are ready for their Super Bowl run, or maybe the Bears are legit and the Packers are going to have to take a step back and try to come back and win that game 2 weeks from now, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are watching this video back later, let me know in the comments right now, how do you feel about our offense, how it stacks up against the Bears offense? Who do you think has the edge there? Is there a player or two that maybe we missed somehow? Do you agree with the PFF grades? We want to hear from you in the comments. Make sure you let us know. Also, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you are notified whenever we go live here in the near future.